Don't adjust your color. I'm Scott Wolf, and today I'm taking you back to the days of black and white television, and I want to introduce you to Cubby O'Brien, one of the original Mouseketeers in the 1950s on Walt Disney's original Mickey Mouse Club. He's standing by on a video call right now. The Mickey Mouse Club was a television sensation right from the start when it debuted in 1955. And one of the Mouseketeers who was with the show from the very beginning is Cubby O'Brien, who I'll introduce you to in just a few minutes.
Hi.
Hi, Cubby. That's Cubby O'Brien of the Mouseketeers. Later, Cubby, okay?
Let me tell you a bit about Cubby and share a few of my Mickey Mouse Club items from my own collection. Cubby's dad was a drummer with the big bands in the 1930s and 40s, and he taught Cubby to play the drums when Cubby was just 5 years old. Eventually, Cubby started playing in a Dixieland band doing free little shows around Los Angeles. He was performing in one show for the Screen Actors Guild, and there were producers from Disney there. They invited Cubby to audition for the Mickey Mouse Club. At one of the auditions, there were hundreds of kids ready to try out. Cubby played his drum solo, and Jimmy Dodd, who was one of the two adults on the Mickey Mouse Club, watched Cubby play, and he jumped up and asked Cubby if he could sing. He said he didn't sing, but Jimmy asked him to sing Happy Birthday. They just wanted to see if he could carry a tune. And Jimmy asked if he could tap dance, and he said no, he couldn't. But nevertheless, he got the part. By the way, that photo of Jimmy at a Mickey Mouse Club audition is from Lorraine Santoli's book, The Official Mickey Mouse Club Book. You might want to see if you could find it somewhere, because I think it's the best book ever done to get an in-depth look at the Mickey Mouse Club. And it's got some great photos too. Here's another photo from Lorraine's book. It's not Cubby, but it's a photo of a real Mickey Mouse Club audition. And in this photo, the Mouseketeers are getting ready for their television debut. On July 17, 1955, Walt Disney broadcast the grand opening of Disneyland on TV. And it was in that broadcast that the world was also introduced to the Mouseketeers that would be appearing in the upcoming television series, The Mickey Mouse Club. 9-year-old Cubby and the other Mouseketeers sang and danced from Disneyland on live television for an estimated 90 million viewers. That tremendous viewership was thanks to the great anticipation of Disneyland that Walt had created. Here's a clip of Cubby at Disneyland on opening day.
And now from inside the theater come the Mouseketeers, a group of talented boys and girls who will be on the Mickey Mouse Club show this fall, October 3rd. And I guarantee you that many a future star will be coming out of this group.
When the Mickey Mouse Club aired that following October, it quickly became a television sensation. It inspired so much merchandise, including its own magazine. This is the first issue of Walt Disney's Mickey Mouse Club magazine, and it's from 1956. It's got a rare photo of the Mouseketeers in color. And you see those badges that they're wearing? I have one of them right here. The costumes with the badge are what they wore on Talent Roundup Day on Fridays, where they rounded up talent from all over. But as part of the first Talent Roundup, they showcased some talent from within.
Mouseketeers, I take pleasure in introducing Cubby O'Brien and Company.
Cubby! Sure, watch this.
Well, what do you know?
And now, Mouseketeers, meet my father. And now meet my brother.
So much came out of the Mickey Mouse Club. It paved the way for future kids' shows, and it inspired a Disneyland stage show starting in 1972, which these years are from. And that stage show led to multiple television revivals of the show. These years are from the 1977 TV version. These are all mouse ears behind me that were sold by Disney. I don't think any of these would exist without the original Mickey Mouse Club. And this record certainly proves the long popularity of the show. As I mentioned before, I grew up watching reruns of the original Mickey Mouse Club in the 1970s, and both this record and this book are from 1975. They were released 20 years after the Mickey Mouse Club debuted. I love this photo in this book of Cubby and some of the Mouseketeers in school in the little red schoolhouse trailer on the Disney Studios lot because they had to get 3 hours of school in every day. This record has songs from the show which had been on some of the many records released since the 1950s. Inside is a cast photo album. Each of the Mouseketeers had a page dedicated to them. Let me show you Cubby's page. There's his headshot. There's Jimmy Dodd and some of the other Mouseketeers. And there's Cubby on the drums. He was quite the drummer, and he still is. He still tours with Tony Award-winning actress-singer Bernadette Peters. Naturally, Cubby particularly liked when he got to play on the drums on the show. On some episodes, he got to play with the Firehouse 5+2, an acclaimed jazz band comprised of Disney studio employees and artists. Here's a clip.
And now, Firehouse 5 plus 3 plus the Mouseketeers will do one of the most famous Disneyland tunes, Tiger Rag.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Cubby's been heard in various studio recordings and live performances. He was the regular drummer on the Carol Burnett TV show, and that's where he met the Carpenters, and they asked him to replace Karen as the drummer. Karen had been playing the drums and singing, and they wanted to get her away from the drums and move her out front. You know, the Mickey Mouse Club remained popular throughout its entire run, and even after the Mickey Mouse Club ended, there were still more Mouseketeer live appearances. They even did a tour in Australia because the show became very popular there. As adults, there were live Mouseketeer reunion shows in Disneyland. This is one which combined members of the original cast with members of the 1977 new Mickey Mouse Club. I want to thank Terry Castillo-Foss, who was a part of that show, for these great photos. I should also thank Cubby for allowing me to share some of his personal photos in this video. I have Cubby standing by right now on a video call. I'd like you all to meet Cubby O'Brien. Hi, Cubby.
Hi, Scott. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today.
Do you have a favorite episode of the Mickey Mouse Club?
Well, Scott, you know it's going to be my dad and brother on the first talent roundup. All of us playing drums and everybody, you know, that was like our first week and everybody was kind of just getting together, and that was my favorite episode. And really all of the, you know, because I love drumming so much, the episodes that I did with the Firehouse 5+2 and whenever I was playing drums.
Do you have any particular memories from that episode with your father and brother?
It's hard to remember what it was really like that day.
Yeah, I don't remember everything from when I was 9 years old.
It's really, you know, right after the Mickey Mouse Club, I went to the Lawrence Welk show. I performed on the Welk show for 2 years at ABC. And the Lennon sisters were on then, and Janet Lennon, the youngest of the Lennon sisters, was my age. So I would do vocal things with her. I played the bongos. I even conducted the orchestra for a while. For Disney, we went to Chicago to do Disney radio in Chicago. Myself, Sharon, and Bobby, and a couple other people. And we did kind of a little live show on somewhere in a mall or something, just a brief thing, and met some people and stuff. But there was a guy there who had this whole tape of Lawrence Welk show stuff that I was involved in. It was like he had put this whole tape together, about a half hour, of only things that I did on the show. Singing with Janet, playing marimbas, playing drum solos, playing in the band, conducting the, and I put it in, and I looked at it, and I went, I don't believe that's me. I just don't remember doing any of that stuff, you know? Yeah. When you're young, you just do this stuff. And you know, no worries, nothing. It was live television in those days. You know, whatever went on the air. It wasn't taped, but it was amazing to look at it and go, wow, I don't remember doing that. You know, it's funny. Yeah. And it's the same thing about the Mickey Mouse Club. It's hard to really actually remember the events that really took place. You know. You know you do, and you see it on tape, but it's hard to remember what it was really like that day. You know, the day that my brother and my dad with the drums and setting them up and the directors and play. You know, I know somebody told me we did that drum number in one take, and I believe it. You know, there was no mistakes. We just did it in one single tape. So it was, and it was my favorite show, really, because they were there and they're both gone now. My dad passed away about, maybe 8 years ago or so, but he was 103 and lived in San Diego. And my brother passed away. That brother passed away a couple years ago. He was in his early 80s, 83 or so. So it was, Marilyn Magnus, of course.
Oh, sure. In fact, she's the one at Disney who hired me to work with you and Sherry on that Disney cruise show.
Marilyn was doing an event at her college that she went to, and she asked me if I would be like the special guest. Marilyn used to do these presentations of things that she did at Disney, what her job at Disney was, and all this kind of stuff. And then she introduced me. And she asked me if I thought my dad and my brother would kind of recreate that drum number. And I said, my dad is 97 and my brother's I said, I'll ask them. And they both said that they would do it. So they were in the front row and she brought me out and we did a little interview thing. And then I said, well, I have a surprise. My brother and my dad from that tape you just saw there are in the audience and I'm going to bring them. And so we all played. And that was the last time that we all played together.
Wow, that's special. Besides that episode, do you have any favorite memories of doing the show?
Well, I have so many great memories of the Mickey Mouse Club days, going to school at Disney Studios. I loved the rehearsal process and, really learning how to tap dance and learning how to be in front of the camera. And of course, Jimmy Dodd was a big influence on all of us. So those are the kinds of memories that I have. And, Roy Williams, big Mouseketeer Roy, every summer, he had a house out in Studio City in San Fernando Valley that had a pool, a swimming pool, and the whole backyard was this Hawaiian theme. So he would invite all of us over there. We'd have big swimming parties. He'd have hot dogs and hamburgers and Cokes, and it was a big time. And we had a lot of fun doing that.
That's
And of course, the circus. When we did the circus out at Disneyland, my mother was a part of the circus. Some of the mothers took part in the circus, and it was a lot of fun.
I was hoping you'd bring that up because I have this old Viewmaster set at the Mickey Mouse Club Circus.
Really?
That's the parade to the circus tent.
And those are the older kids riding the horses and stuff. That's Bobby and it looks like maybe Lonnie, and Darlene is on the pony. There's Jimmy and a group of us. I don't think I'm in that picture.
No. Jimmy's dressed like a ringmaster. Was he the ringmaster in the circus?
Yeah, I think he was the ringmaster.
Cool.
I remember being on the elephant. I don't know who that little girl is, to tell you the truth.
I was wondering what you thought because I didn't think it's Karen, but the Viewmaster reel reads Mouseketeer Karen becomes an elephant girl.
This little girl's too young. It's not Karen.
I guess I got things wrong back then, too. This one says it's Bobo the Clown.
I think that's Bob Amsberry. He did stuff on the Mickey Mouse Club, too.
As a clown?
No, not as a clown. He was in some of the shows.
This one says the parade enters the circus past the ticket wagon.
I kind of remember that. This is like 70 years ago.
Yeah, that's amazing.
There's the tent. That's the main entrance.
They have photos of some of the acts inside the tent, but for some reason there's no pictures of the Mouseketeers inside the tent.
Yeah, it's weird that there's no pictures of that.
Anyway, Cubby, what did you do in the circus?
The girls were doing rope things where we would spin them and they'd be, doing all that kind of stuff. And we'd ride in on the elephants and it was a lot of fun. It was a regular circus. There were high wire acts and jugglers and clowns, and it was a lot of fun.
It sounds like those were really great times and an important part of your life.
My career is all because of the Mickey Mouse Club and the fans. It's amazing now that, Bernadette, I work with Bernadette Peters, and she introduces me every night as an original Mouseketeer.
Let me stop you for just a second. I want to play this clip.
Hiding up here in the orchestra is one of the original Mouseketeers. Maybe the most famous Mouseketeer. On the drums tonight, we have Cubby O'Brien.
People still remember you.
You know, Bernadette's audience is probably mostly people in their 50s to 70s and 80s. So there's a lot of people out there that still remember the Mickey Mouse Club. And it's been like that my whole career. All the people I've worked with, Shirley MacLaine, Andy Williams, Suzanne Summers, Debbie Reynolds, all those people introduced me as a Mouseketeer and were fans of the show. They knew all about the show. So it's followed me everywhere. And, you know, I always say, once a Mouseketeer, always a Mouseketeer. From the time I was 9, and I'm going to be 78 next month, it's followed me up for the last 60 plus years, yeah.
Thank you so much, Cubby, for doing this. And now here's one last clip of Cubby.
Now it's time to say goodbye to all our company. M-I-C.
See you real soon.
K-E-Y.
Why? Because we like you.
M